Okay, just make sure I have you all muted. It should be, but sometimes phones are funky. So if you are on your cell phone, please make sure, sometimes it will like unmute you and you don't realize that you're unmuted. So please make sure you keep an eye on yourself because it's really frustrating, especially for Julia. She's talking, it's distracting. So I am so excited for tonight's team call. I know sometimes in November and December, we start to get maybe complacent is a little strong of a word, but we start to just kind of get into a routine and get a little unmotivated. It starts to get dark and cold and blah, blah, blah. So I'm so excited to have Julie come on because I know her energy is going to be amazing. She's excited to come and talk to you guys. If you don't know Julie, you should. She's incredible. She has been coaching for 3 years now. She's a wife and a mom. Little Ezekiel, I believe, is 8 months, right? Or somewhere right around there, 9 months. She used to be a full-time RN, full-time nurse, now coach. She is a 2-time elite officially in a month and a 6-star diamond coach, which is incredible in 3 years, and a Success Club 10 All-Star legend, and I'm sure many more months than that in Success Club. So, Julie, I will unmute you if you just want to take it away. Yay!
Yay! Thanks you guys for having me. I'm so excited. It's always so fun because like myself and Morgan and Chelsea last summer, the 3 of us would like get on weekly Zoom calls to like brainstorm and like excite each other and like talk about these big scary goals. And I think at the time all of us were like maybe diamond, maybe 1 star. I think it was just a diamond. And us talking about like being elite and 5-star and going beyond that, and just so crazy that like a year later you guys did it. Like you've done it. So just don't underestimate the power of the hustle and your goals and like rallying together. So I want to chat a little bit tonight about what kind of made me be able to build a successful business in a short time. So this year we will be right at 6 figures for the very first time, which is like truly so insane that you can build a 6-figure business in a 3-year time period. Like what other job from the ground up can you do that? And it's not, I'm not the person who like blew up overnight. Nobody knew my name the first couple of years that I was coaching. Like even now, like I'm not a top 10 coach or anything like that. I just put in a little bit of work each day and I stuck with it and kept doing it. And I'm going to share exactly how I did that and exactly how I built a 6-figure business in a 3-year time span. So, I want to just say at the beginning first, and some of you guys might know my story, but so when I signed up as a coach, I was one of those people that was like in a group for 4 months, like a sneak peek group, and never like responded when the girl would follow up with me. I was like the worst person to have in your coach sneak peek. But every time I would get in her sneak peek, and I was just having to remind myself of this today, like I was there 4 or 5 times before I was finally like, okay, I'm going to do this. So if people are ghosting you or they're just not ready yet, be patient and just know like people will come around. But anyway, 2 weeks after I signed up as a coach, the gal who I signed up with like peaced out. She's technically still there. Like she's still list coach. So I've never like rolled up to anybody else. I was the last coach that she signed up. So I've never had like another coach placed under me. I'm under her. I'm on her weak leg. So it's not like her upline is placing anybody under me. So everything that I have built is literally like what I have built. I have not had any help from my upline. So if that is you, welcome to the club. It's fine. We got this. Which none of you guys that would happen to. But if you don't have like a strong like added to your downline right now. And so I just had to learn like by myself what the heck I was doing. I had to just learn how the heck am I going to run an accountability group? I don't know what that really is. And so, you know what I did, you guys? I used Google and I used YouTube. And for me, this was my plan A. Like, I think the worst thing that you can do as a coach, especially as a new coach, is to be like, well, I'm going to give it 6 months and see how I do. Or I'm going to like, if I get a couple of challengers or once I get like 5 or 10 challengers, then I'll like really start like giving effort. Like once I build a little momentum. Because you're literally stopping yourself from building momentum by having that mindset. Whereas if you are like, I'm going to go for this, I'm going to make this my full-time job, or whatever your goal is. Maybe your goal is not a full-time job. For me, that's what it was. I was miserable in the hospital. I knew I eventually wanted to have kids and stay home, and I wanted to be able to build it by that time. So I was like, okay, this is my plan A. I know I'm going to mess up along the way. I know I will, because this is the first time I'm doing this. But that will be a learning opportunity, and I'm just going to keep going. So my first year and a half of coaching, I worked full-time as a nurse. And so I decided, if I'm going to really be all in for this business, I need to figure out a time that I can actually commit to coaching. And the very first book that I read as a coach was The Compound Effect. And if you haven't read The Compound Effect or listened to it, I listened to it, or if you haven't read it in a while, you need to read it. I honestly think this is the reason that I started off so strong, because it was the first thing that I put into my mind, and it just like set my mindset to, okay, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to happen one day at a time, but it's going to happen if I keep showing up. So my favorite quote from the book that this like literally just sets me on fire for my business. It says, "What's simple to do is also simple not to do. The magic isn't in the complexity of the task, but in doing simple things repeatedly and long enough to experience the magic of the compound effect." I'm going to say this again. If you didn't write this down, you need to write it down because it's so good. What's simple to do is also simple not to do. You guys, it's easy to do a power hour, like, right? It's easy to sit down and do a power hour, but it's also super simple to be like, oh, my kids woke up early, or I overslept, or I have a longer workout today. I don't have time for it. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tonight. And then you never do it because you always fall asleep. Like, it's easy to do that, right? Like, you miss a day here and there, and then you start missing 2 days and then 3 days. And you're like, oh my gosh, a week's gone by and I haven't even done any invites. It's simple to not do the simple things. And the magic isn't in the complexity of the task. It's not that hard, but it's in doing simple things like inviting 3 to 5 people a day repeatedly and long enough to experience the magic of the compound effect. It may feel like coaching is hard sometimes, but it's actually not, you guys. It's so simple. We work out, part of our job. We share people about it, and then we help them do the same thing. That's literally it. Like, stop overcomplicating your job. We have the easiest, best job in the whole world. It's so simple. And here's the thing with mindset. Quit telling yourself it's hard. Quit telling yourself that diamond or star diamond or even emerald is such a lofty goal. Tell yourself, this is easy. I've got this. 8 people, no big deal. I have 8 people in carpool line, or I have 8 people that I stay at Starbucks. Like, that's not a lot of people, you guys. Quit telling yourself it's so hard, because the more you tell yourself that, like when I have coaches tell me like, oh, my big scary goal for 2020 is diamond. I'm like, for 2020? No, your big scary goal for January is diamond. Like, quit telling yourself it's this far off goal, because when you treat it like that, now when you start working towards it, it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm working towards a super hard goal. I'm working so hard. Whereas opposed to if like, this is easy. Like, I show up every day, I talk to people about it. I run a bomb challenge group, and then people want to coach with me. So stop telling yourself it's so hard. Your mindset is literally the most powerful thing you have in your business. Okay, so that's like literally your power hour. So easy. It doesn't have to be pretty, but you do have to show up for it every day. And if you are a newer coach, or you are someone who has maybe been in the business a while, but you haven't been building, this is why. I guarantee this is why. You have to show up for this. And scrolling your Instagram or just scrolling Facebook does not count. I want to show you guys, like, honestly, the hilarious power hour sheet that I used when I first started off as a coach. Okay, so I think I started to say this and maybe got sidetracked. So when I started coaching, I was working full-time as a nurse. So I would get up every day at like right before 5. I would do my power hour from 5 to 6. I would do my quiet time, prayer time from 6 to 7. And then I would go to the clinic that I was working at. I had moved to a clinic by this point, 8 to 5. And I started teaching insanity classes in the evenings. So then straight from the clinic, I would go teach insanity classes, and I was volunteering for a high school ministry. I was busy, you guys. We're all busy. Like, that is the worst excuse. Everybody in this business who's successful is busy. So quit telling yourself that's why you can't build a business. You will find the time for what's important to you. So right now, if Netflix is important to you and you're finding the time to binge watch a season of Stranger Things, there was 10 hours you could have just built your 6-figure business. So for me, I got up at 5 to 6 and did my power hour. I don't have a Netflix or Hulu subscription. We actually have a TV on our mantle that doesn't even do anything. I don't even know why we have it, but like, we don't spend our time on that, because I know if I did, like, that's time that I could be spending building my business. So I'm going to share my screen. I think I'm able to, and show you guys. Can you guys see this picture? Thumbs up. See it? Okay. This is what my power hour looks like, right? Ugly. Very ugly. But I went and bought this probably like $4 notebook at Target, and this built my business. There wasn't the business activity tracker yet, and truthfully, like, I love the business activity tracker, but it adds up to more than an hour. And so sometimes I think coaches look at it and get a little bit intimidated, like, oh my gosh, I have to do all of these things, which, like, great. I hope you do use it. But I know for me as a new coach, like, I really had 45 minutes to an hour in my day before work to do my business. And if I was using the business activity tracker, I probably wouldn't have gotten it all done. So here was my like super simplified power hour checklist. I am always a pen and paper gal, and this is what I would do. 3 new friends, 3 hey girls, so like creating 3 new conversations, returning 5 follow-up messages, and invite at least 1 person a day to coaching. And I show you guys this for a couple reasons. 1, to show you, like, it wasn't pretty. I'm not the girl who's like really good at graphics or like has a pretty tracker or anything. And I don't care. Like, that's just not me. But I am the girl who's going to show up every single day and cross these boxes off. So here was my like super simple checklist. The other reason I show you guys this is, here at the bottom is like the names of the people that I was connecting with, which is really funny to see like some of these names that are people in my group now. So I would write their names down when I connected with them. The following week, those names from the page before were the people that I was then doing my Hey Girls with. And the week after that, the people from the following week that I just did a Hey Girl to were now the people I was inviting. So I was never like scrolling, who am I going to invite today? Like, I just had this running funnel of who I was going to be inviting, who I was going to be connecting with. So I didn't have to waste time figuring that out. There was another reason I showed you guys this, but, oh, I know. The other reason I show you guys this is to show you, like, my numbers weren't huge. Like, I wasn't inviting 30, 40, 50 people a day. I was inviting 3 to 5 people. That's it, like 3 to 5 a day. And I was hitting at least Success Club 10. So, like, yes, if you have the capacity to invite more people, or you're in a spot where you're like, I need to make a full-time income in X amount of months because I'm having a baby or whatever it might be, then maybe your inviting numbers are higher. But I knew I was busy. I didn't have a ton of time to send out mass invites, but I wanted to grow a business that was consistent and stable for the long term. And inviting 3 to 5 people a day did that. So that's why I want to share that with you guys. I used this for 1.5 years until I went full-time with my business. Since then, I've upgraded to the Rise Up Planner. This is on Amazon. It's like $25. If you guys are pen and paper, the Rise Up Planner is amazing. It helps you goal set and do all of your tracking in it as well. honestly, I probably don't even use it like you're supposed to, but like, here's my running list of names of people that I'm connecting with and then going to invite, like the exact same. Yay, I'm back. Okay. Morgan, I feel like this happened to you when I live in like small town Arkansas and internet does this to us. So where did I cut off?
You were talking about your Rise Up book.
Oh. So anyway, I have the Rise Up Planner. If you're a pen and paper gal, Rise Up Planner is where it's at. It's created by a Beachbody coach. So that is what I use at this point. And I still have this because it's like my inspo. So obviously it doesn't have to be complicated, you guys. Like, so simple. Like, I was checking off 4 or 5 boxes a day, and I would just sit down and I knew exactly what I was doing in that 45 minutes to an hour. And honestly, sometimes I could get through it faster than that. It didn't take me a lot of time, but if you don't have like a super simple, solid checklist to just like plow through, then I feel like sometimes we're like, oh, my power is taking me forever. I don't know who to invite. Help. So something that like guides you through your power hour, even if it's so simple as this like ugly notebook that I have. Okay, so what was I saying to these people when I was inviting them? Because I think a lot of something that new coaches or coaches who are having trouble building momentum, if they are showing up for their power hour, here's the 2 things that I can almost guarantee are where your business is stalling. You're not showing up consistently, or something needs to get tweaked in your invite. So I was looking back at some of my very first conversations, and I screenshotted them because they're so funny, that I had with some of my potentials. So I'm going to share my screen again. So this is like literally, oops, not that. Can you guys see this screenshot? Okay. This is probably the day after I signed up as a coach. This is a girl that I knew from college. I hadn't spoken to in 3 years, and I randomly sent her this message. Like, how awkward am I? So awkward. But so I like word vomited on her and tell her that I'm starting this accountability group. I share this because I think it's so funny that my message is like word vomit. 2, she responded 10 days later and wanted to be in it. And 3, I share it because I just went for it. Like, I didn't have the perfect invite at the time. I didn't totally know what to say, but I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to try. If people don't want to do it or they don't respond, then I'm going to adjust it and figure out something else to say. If you get this like analysis paralysis of like, oh, I'm not sure how to invite people or I don't know what to do, and you don't just like go for it and fail forward, like you're never going to start. You just have to start. You'll figure it out as you go. So this is super funny. This girl actually did end up joining my group. And then I post this other one. This was probably like 6 months later that I did this one. And I wanted to share this one because I was having like a conversation with a girl, and then I randomly switched the conversation and say, hey, this is random, but we're starting a health and fitness group on the 27th. Would you be interested in joining us? Like, how weird is that? If someone sent that to me, I'd be like, no. But I wanted to share that with you guys because I was just like trying to figure out what was going to work best. So I would try new ways of inviting people to kind of find like what was my jam. This was not my jam because this one did not work. But that's okay. Like, because I tried something else, I figured out it didn't work. And then I was like, okay, that didn't work. Try something different. And it's okay to like flop sometimes. It doesn't mean you're a bad coach or you're not going to be successful. That means you get to rule out something and move on to the next thing. So kind of what my old invites looked like. So I wanted to show you guys what they look like now. I am a big believer that you never have a cold market. If you are always connecting with people, you're always building a warm market, you should never have to send a cold invite. So for my super warm market, which you are constantly inviting until every single one of your friends, every single one of your family members, your sorority sisters, until they're all in your group, you should keep inviting them, because the worst thing that could happen is that you see they signed up with some other random coach and you're like, I never invited them. So invite those people, because one of my friend coaches, she literally just had 2 of her college softball teammates sign up with some rando and she wanted to vomit. So would I. So when I'm inviting my like close friends or family, I'm going to invite them to just like do it with me. I'm not going to be like, hey, let me coach you or come buy something from me. I'm going to say what I would say to them as if they were sitting across the table from me. So for me, that sounds something like, hey, Sydney, I need you. I'm committing to a 100-day workout program through the end of the year. Would you want to do it together and hold each other accountable? And I'd probably say something like, let's get these booties lifted, or, like something silly like that, because that's how I would talk to my best friends in person. I'd be like, dude, I need you. Let's do this together. We're going to get hot. I don't know, something like that. So just like say whatever sounds like you. And if for you that means like sending a voice memo or like doing a video or calling them on the phone, whoa, like do it, you guys. Don't be afraid to invite those people that are close to you. They might be the most supportive ones. So that's what I would say to my super warm market. To my like lukewarm market, the people that I probably met on Instagram or people I didn't know quite as well growing up, I would probably have a conversation with them first, connect, because I'm not the person who wants to be just like cold invited. I know some people will say like, well, if people are watching my stories, they already know what I'm doing. But if I was watching somebody's stories and then they sent me a message and was like, hey, I'm watching my stories, do you want to be in my group? I'd be like, wow, how'd she know I was watching? Like for me, that would be like, I wouldn't join. So my sister-in-law is the exact opposite. She's like, dude, I've been watching your stories, get to the point. Why are you like small talking me? So invite the way that you would want to be invited. For me, I would want to have a conversation first. So that's what I do. Here is how I transition my conversations, which I think a lot of people struggle with when they're like, how do I go from like just talking to them to transitioning to inviting them to my group? And this is what I say. I just say, hey, I am so sorry that I didn't think to invite you sooner, but I run a monthly accountability group for women working towards their faith and fitness goals. You'd be a great addition to our group. I'm happy to send you info if you'd like. And again, that's totally something I would just like say to somebody out loud. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't invited you yet. Do you want to do this with me? And say your invites out loud, you guys, because if they sound weird when you say them out loud, they probably sound weird when you send them via text message. And that's something that's been super helpful for me. Now, it took me almost 2 years to like get this rhythm down, to figure out like what I really feel like is me inviting. So don't be afraid of like the longevity of the process. If you're like a couple months in and you're like, I still don't get it, like I'm still getting all these no's and people don't want to join my group and they're ghosting me, like welcome to the club. That's part of building a business, is figuring out like what's going to work and what's going to like keep building it. If you were like opening a restaurant or a hair salon, like you wouldn't figure out your best business model in the first month or two of running your business. You guys, we are running businesses. We're not brick and mortar, but it's the same thing. You have to give yourself longevity. You have to give yourself time to experience the compound of the magic of the compound effect. So be here next year. Be here a year from now and put in the work every day and see what happens. And if you haven't grown by then, we need to talk, because I will figure something out in your business to help you grow. But I guarantee you will have grown if you show up every single day and do these things and are here a year from now and don't give up on yourself and your dreams. Okay, so that's kind of where I've landed with my invites. Oops. So obviously, like, my invites have changed a lot over time. And there were so many more in the middle of like what it took me to get to that point. And I wanted to say, after I send that transitional message, at this point, when they respond to that and say like, yes, send me more info, I immediately say, what is your email? I'd be happy to send you all the details. For me, getting out of my Instagram inbox is like the best thing I can do. Getting into email has made me so much more organized, and I feel like you can send a much longer message that people are actually going to read versus if you send a long message on Instagram. So struggling with your Instagram inbox, or you don't feel like Instagram messaging is working right now, maybe try jumping over to email, because that's like changed my business the second half of this year. So obviously my invites have changed over time, and I've gotten so much more comfortable talking to people about it, but here's what's remained the same. I have always cared more about the people that I was talking to than the number of Success Club points or the check that was coming in. And for a really long time, you guys didn't even look at my checks or my Success Club numbers, because I knew if I was focused on the people first and building relationships and having genuine conversations and providing solutions to their problems, the numbers would follow. And guess what? They did follow every single month, every single week. And so if you keep people at the forefront of your heart and your mind in this business, because it's literally what we are, is a people business, then one, your invites are going to come across way more genuine and like yourself. And two, the numbers will follow. I promise. So don't get so stressed out about like the Success Club points. Don't get so stressed about, I have to hit X amount of money. Like, just care about the people and talk to people, build friends, and invite them to do what you're doing, and have confidence when you send those invites, because it does not matter if they sign up with you, right? Like, they're not doing you any favors. You are providing them a solution that could change their life, whether that be coaching or through these programs. So you have so much more to offer them. So your invites with confidence. People can feel that. I promise. Your energy, your confidence, it will come across. So if you need to like hype yourself up beforehand, do it. And remind yourself why this is so life-changing for you, what you have to offer people, because people will feel that in your invites. I think that's the majority of what I wanted to share. I hope that's helpful, and I wanted to save a little bit of time if you guys had any questions specifically how I grew my business. Honestly, you guys, probably a lot of what I've shared tonight is not something like brand new for you to hear for the first time, but like I said, it's not in the complexity of the task. It's in you showing up every single day and trusting that process over time to build your business. So go get yourself like a little $4 notebook. This is what you need to do, and get it done, and just trust that it's going to grow. Any questions?
Okay, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. I know there were a few questions, Julie, about when you were talking about your names on your old school notebook and your
Yeah.
checks, like what, can you explain the process again of the first names that you write down, what those were, and then what that meant the next week and then the next week, if you can re-explain that? Because I think some people were confused what you meant, if there was a difference between a connection and a hey girl, or if you were just saying them differently, kind of that again.
Yeah, so actually what's kind of funny is I didn't write on my checklist each week my actual invites because I just knew like these were the names that I was inviting. So I guess I didn't put it as a box. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So I had 3 new friends, which was basically finding 3 people to follow or friend request. I actually did a lot on Facebook at the beginning. So that was my 3 new friends. Simply find a profile, either follow or friend request. I didn't do any connecting. I didn't like 531 up, literally just like followed. My 3 hey girls was the actually like creating a conversation. So commenting on something, reacting to a story to get in their inbox, or simply just like messaging them. So the names that were on here are the names of the people that I either followed or friend requested. So it's actually like so simple. So like Monday, I have 3 names down here. So this Monday, those were the people's names that I friend requested. The following week, I would just flip back a page and I'm like, okay, these are the 3 people I now create a conversation with. Super easy. I know exactly who I'm going to their story or who I'm going to like get in their inbox in some sort of to connect with them. The following week, so after I've connected them on Monday of basically 2 weeks after I've now friend requested them, that is when I'm actually inviting them to my group. So I guess that's why I didn't have it as a box, because I just guess I knew already who I was inviting. And that saved me so much time, you guys, because it wasn't like I was scrolling, figuring out like, who are my 3 to 5 invites today? It was like, okay, yep, flip back a page. These are who I'm inviting. Search their profile, send my invite. Super easy. So obviously, like over the course of the week, I'm having conversations, which is why I had on here the 5 follow-ups. Some people didn't respond to me, whatever, but I wanted to make sure I was at least responding to 5 conversations a day just to kind of keep myself forward momentum instead of and to like sometimes avoid my inbox, truthfully. So that was my like eat the frog thing that I put on my list to do. So does that make sense?
Yeah, that, I guess other people can nod. That's really good stuff. So then I have a couple of people who are asking about where you create the combo, which I know I've heard other talks from you. So maybe if you can just snip it, because I know this could be an entire call in itself, but kind of how you connect with people. I know a lot of what you do, but.
Yeah. So first of all, I think that one of the most important things is like actually the people that you're following have to be people that you have some kind of immediate connection with. So for me, where I go to find people to follow currently, I guess I'll share what I did at the beginning. There was a Facebook page. So I lived in Dallas. There was a Facebook page of Iowa Hawkeyes in DFW. What a random Facebook page, but there was almost 800 people in it. I went to college at Iowa. And so I was in that page. And so I would just scroll through, pick the top first 3 females that I found that day and already connected with, and I would friend request them. And I would typically then just message them the next week and be like, hey, saw you were in the Iowa Hawkeyes Facebook page and also in DFW. What are you doing here? Like, so I immediately had something that I was talking to them about. So if you're not like connecting with people that you know you're going to have something in common with, you need to find a new source of people to follow. So like right now, I am following a Instagram page that's for moms that are Christians. And so I immediately know going to that page, the people that are following them are probably moms and probably have a faith. 2 things I immediately in common with. And I guarantee if I click on their profile and look at 1 to 2 pictures, I'm going to know about how old their kid is, whether, they're a lot of times you can tell if someone's like pumping or breastfeeding or whatever. And so I can immediately connect with them in that way. Or something else that I connect a lot on is I had a really intense C-section. And so I will find other moms that had a C-section and we immediately connect on stuff like that. So you like outside of health and fitness, where am I going to connect with people? And that way, like when I start a conversation, it's so easy to be like, oh my gosh, you had a C-section too. How old is your baby now? How are you feeling? Like, so easy, and it's not weird. It's not creepy. And I like genuinely want to know, like, how was yours? Because mine sucked. Like, are you feeling better than me? So I think that is something that's super helpful, is like connecting with people that you would already have some sort of natural connection with. And
outside of fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love that you say outside of fitness, because that's what it is. If you're struggling to find a starting combo with someone, it's because you don't have connections outside of fitness. Like, people need to see that our world does not revolve around Beachbody. And it doesn't have to be, just like she said, like, if you're not a mom, like I struggled with this greatly in the beginning because I'm very boring. I live in a small town in Georgia. Like, it doesn't have to be these crazy, like, mom, motherhood, children, career. Like, I was a Beachbody coach. I had no other career. So you just got to write down things that you're interested in. And like she said, if you are speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one. So you have to narrow in. Like, if you go to someone's page, or even if they're following you and you don't find that immediate connection and don't feel that vibe with them, like, you don't need to message them just for the sake of messaging them. Like, you need to actually feel something there. So I just love that.
One of the best things someone told me early on was like, if it is like pulling teeth to have conversation with somebody, it will be like pulling teeth to have them in your challenge group. Like, move on and just be like, great, this isn't my person.
Yeah, Julie, one of my coaches, lives in Iowa. She said, go Hawks.
Yay, go Hawkeyes.
Okay, so the other question is, since you have started moving to email, if you need to follow up, you don't get a response, you get ghosted, yada, yada, do you then take it back to Instagram, or do you continue the follow-up in email?
Nope, email.
Okay, cool. Let's see.
That'd be too much work to go back to Instagram, find their Instagram handle.
So this is a good question. Do you feel, as you invited, like, how do you, because I know the fear, and you've probably had this too, the fear of like burning bridges with acquaintances and stuff by being pushy or over asking about Beachbody. Like, how do you get over the fear of that?
Yeah. So one, I don't think my invite is pushy. I'm like, dude, like, let's do that. I say this to my sister all the time. Like, every time I start a new program, I'm like, let's do 80-day session. We got this. And like, she's not like a diehard Beachbody person, but when I come and I'm like so pumped to do it together, and we live in different states, like, that's something so fun for us to connect on. And so I guess if she was to be like, no, I don't want to, I wouldn't be like, you have to join my group. Like, I need you to join. I would just be like, okay, bummer. I'm going to really miss doing this alongside you. It would have been super fun. So I'm never going to like hound them or push them. I'm always going to invite them with excitement and let them know that like, I would love to do this together. It would be so much fun if we did it together. But if they say no to me, I'm not going to be like pissed or whatever. And so I guess I never really burn bridges. Like, if I invited somebody over for dinner and they were like, oh, I can't come tonight, I'd be like, maybe next time, no big deal. Like, you know what I mean? So it's no different. It's not like I love them any less for not wanting to do a workout program.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing, is like you were saying, if you speak your invite out loud and it just sounds like you shouldn't be burning any bridges or anything, because just like you said, if you invite them over to dinner, or if, I'm sure we've all had conversations with friends where we're like, let's go do this, and our friend is like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, some of us don't have the same things that we want to do. It's just like, okay, cool, maybe next time, like she said. So yeah. Does anyone else, I know we're kind of getting up on our time here. Does anyone else have any questions? I think that was creating combos. I kind of like having Beachbody to myself. No, I mean, I personally, I mean, Julie can answer too. I want all of my closest friends and family to do it because it's what I'm passionate about. So I would love if, like, I have several of my very close friends, like a lot of the girls in my wedding that don't do Beachbody. I would love for them to do it. But Julie, what do you think as far as?
Yeah, I think I would just ask myself, like, why do I like having this to myself? Is it like, am I actually just afraid of like what they would think of being in my group? Or, is it like a fear-based thing where I'm like, oh, I just like having this to myself? Because then I think like, man, what if I did invite them and it was like life-changing for them? Like, I would feel so bad for, I don't know, holding that back, I guess. I don't think you have to have all your friends and family to be successful. But I'm just like, yeah, why would you not? Kind of feel like it would change my ability. Yeah. So that makes me kind of feel like it's like, oh, maybe I would be self-conscious around, my close friends or family, which for me, that would mean diving more into personal development if I'm like afraid of what they would think. For a long time, I was really nervous to talk about Beachbody to my in-laws. I was newly married when I started coaching, and obviously like I wasn't successful, within the first 6 months. Like I was building success, but it's not like I had made it my job or anything yet. And so talking to my family, my in-laws about it was like really awkward for me. And I like kind of didn't want to. I was like, oh, just don't ask me about it because I feel weird. And now I'm just like, man, if I just like talk about it, like with confidence and excitement, like they're going to see that this is something I love and something I'm passionate about. And I share with them like the stories of the people in my group and how it's changing their lives. And now I'm like, dude, yeah, ask away. I would love to answer your questions. Like, let's talk. Let me tell you how my coaching business is going. And so I think for me, it was really just coming around to the like, I can't be afraid of what they're going to think of me because I love this and I'm so passionate about it. And why would I hide that part of myself from my close friends and family? And if they think you're a weirdo or they judge you, like, dude, that's on them. Like, you're the one living your life. You're the one paying your bills. Like, let them be judgy. That kind of would suck to be a judgy person.
I love you. I'm so glad your personality, you're just I love you so much. I'm so glad you've just been so fun, but like also just dropping some truth bombs for everyone because that's what we all need sometimes. It's been awesome. So we don't want to take too much more of Julie's time. She's an hour behind, so I'm sure she's got a baby and a husband to get to tonight, but I will stop recording.